intentionally. I just did it because I was trying to figure out my body, the whole perimenopause thing. You know, so it was me trying to figure it out, what works and what doesn't work. Being healthy, as healthy as possible. So that was like I said, that was my biggest challenge. You just got to keep with anything, whether uh, you're natural or not. It takes a very very long time to build muscle. You still have to be consistent. You still have to work hard. Your nutrition still has to be on point. I think
Yeah.
mentally you got to mentally you have to be good too because the sport is very mental and yeah, it's very difficult. It takes a long time. You got to be patient and you just got to just be consistent. So.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts on it too, Monica? Because you are an EBC, you do use
I
performance
do.
enhancers because it helps you grow in your muscle development.
Yeah, I do. Whether it gets me there faster, I don't know. I did compete for quite a few years without. My body is very athletic to begin with, so I think for me, I eat it up. My body just wants to grow, and it seems like the older I get, the more I can lift, the heavier I can lift, the more my body wants that. Um, Maybe I'm an anatomy. I don't know. I'm different than others' bodies, but my body just craves it and had some side effects. Sure, I don't regret that, but I definitely can see the difference. But you always know you have to work harder doing that. It just doesn't happen on its own.
Yeah. Because the thing is, it's a process, and and I talked to you about that. It's a process being a bodybuilder. Especially when you're coming in like age you started more later life compared to some competitors who started out maybe in their 20s, maybe in the 30s. But I've been told that's no excuse because I was younger. I used to lift weights and I was pretty strong, but now I don't know. It's just it's mostly about the discipline when you
Yeah.
get involved into sport. If you saw recently, I think there's there's talks of like certain bodybuilders coming back. I think I heard who was it? I think it's Kai Green. He's planning about coming back. And I think he's in his you know about his 50s. He said he has retired, but he still wants to compete. Just talk about a guy like Lee Priest making his return.
Wow.
And then you look at people like a lady who I used to follow, Michelle Brent, who last competed, she was 66 years old. And she's been competing for at least, I would say, 40 years.
That's
Wow.
impressive.
Yeah. That is.
Yeah. Like when you're in the gyms, do you feel like, when you're training, working out, especially around the much younger people, what's the sense when you're, like you get approached when they ask you questions, or also people your age when they tell you, say, I don't think I'm too old, I can't do this. What do you tell
Oh, age is just a number. I
Mhm.
get asked that probably the very first thing people come up to me. How old are you? I'm not going to say my age here, but I'm 50 something, and it's I started much later in life. I've only been doing this 8 years, um, but everything else had to work its way out of what was going on in my life. But it really puts a lot of hope in other people when you tell them your age and they think,
Mhm.
well, if you can do it, maybe I can do it. It really gives people a lot of hope. But yeah, I really can't say that I've seen any physique or bodybuilding gal on the stage that I looked at and thought, she better retire. She's just not, you know, I have seen other categories where it's like, no, you shouldn't be doing this anymore. Um, yeah. So, but I've never seen that physique or bodybuilding. Impressive.
Well, at the gym that I go to, I love it because it's like I don't know. I feel like I go to the gym very early in the morning. You follow me on Instagram, George, so I'm at the gym at like
them?
between 4 and 4:30 in the morning, and so you end up seeing the same people over and over again. But I think the coolest thing that I've experienced is when men ask me, You know, how did you get your physique? Like, how did you build your physique? How long did it take? How did you get? I'm like, what did you do to look the way you look? Like my back is very defined. I think my back is like my best feature. My and my delts. So I think it's really dope when men ask me advice, and when men, they give me props. Like, oh wow, you look really good. I think that's the coolest thing because I remember like I used to go to the gym with my dad in the '80s, and we were just like, women ain't supposed to have muscles, you know.
Yeah,
That was the feedback. But the fact that men are like
yeah.
are asking women. And there's another female bodybuilder in my gym. She's retired. She was she's IFBB and she did women's physique. And you can just tell she doesn't compete anymore, but you can just tell. You can see her physique, like she's in really, she's really fit. And men ask her questions too. So I think it's really dope that men are asking women for advice and asking women for help. You know,
Mhm.
so I love how the sport has evolved.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
respect.
I,
I think there's a
Yeah.
lot of respect with what the men have toward the women that look as though we do, and at our age, because yeah, back how many years ago, wives didn't look this way. Now women are with the children are gone, their lives are they don't want to sit around and look frumpy. They want to get out there and do something for themselves, and I think men notice that, and they're like, that's a lot of work right there. Even I get a lot of compliments at my gym. Um, no one knows my age there, but they assume. Um, but yeah, it's really nice for people to know what it takes to get there.
Yes,
yeah,
and I think too. I feel too. I feel like I don't know how you feel about this, Monica, but I feel it makes me feel good because my hard work hasn't gone unnoticed. Not that it
Exactly.
matters what people think. Like, mostly you're doing it for yourself. Like I do it for myself mostly, and I do it too. But with the perimenopause, it really does make me feel better. It gives me energy. I believe in like mind, body, soul, physically, mentally, spiritually. It just makes me feel so much better. But it's always nice when somebody acknowledges it and says, "No, you're doing a great job," or "You look good."
Yeah,
So
this appreciation, the respect.
yeah, so that feels really good, and you might inspire a couple people along the way to get back in shape or to live healthier lifestyles.
Hmm.
If I can inspire one person, that's like to me that's so tremendous. But just
Yeah,
being
exactly.
acknowledged for the hard work that I put in, and I put in like years of hard work. Then also you had the jerks that have say negative things. Like one woman told me, because you don't always walk around with me. I don't have a pump all the time. So I think a woman like she messaged me on Instagram and said, "Oh, you should have bigger biceps for a bodybuilder." I was like, "What?"
Oh. Did you check out their profile?
Yeah, exactly. No, she has no picture on her profile. No picture. I'm like, okay.
There's a reason.
yeah, yeah. Those things are people who are just ignorant or don't know much about the sport. Like we talk about how one thing about bodybuilding, it does, kind of open a door for somebody who's going through stuff. Like I've talked to ladies like yourself who, Nicole said, Monica, how your kids are grown up and you need something to fulfill your life. Some ladies who been very athletic and climbed for a long time and they found bodybuilding as a way to, I don't know, give them new life and to maybe rejuvenate their body. Like one lady had the pleasure on here, been on my guest a while back. She's an IB pro. She's been competing since the '90s. She's an amazing lady. Really, I would say a great lady. That's one Miss Melanie Horton. Now, Melanie is unbelievable. She's almost 60. She's been competing since the
Wow.
'90s. She made her pro debut at the '99 Miss Olympia. And one thing she did, she took a step back from bodybuilding for a bit, because she's married, she has a couple of kids, and she's been competing for the last, I think, 8 years now, 8 to 7 years more. And she was doing women's physique, but she made the switch back to women's bodybuilding. She competed last year at the couple of shows. She did the Vancouver Isle show, and also she did the Toronto Pro. She's from Canada. And Mel is one of those ladies that if you see her, especially how she works out, how she builds muscle, you wouldn't think she would be almost 60. You're thinking maybe
Yeah, sure.
mid 50s.
She looks amazing.
Yeah, she really does.
She looks
Yeah.
amazing. And you know what? I feel like bodybuilding is like for some reason it makes me age backwards. I feel like it's a fountain of youth. It
Yeah,
really does. It doesn't it? I don't know if you agree, Monica. Like really, it makes you
yeah,
age backwards. It does.
I do. It
Mhm.
really does.
Mhm.
The ability to keep up with your kids or grandkids. I don't have any grandkids, but those around you, they're like, wow, you're really athletic. You really get out there. You're really energetic, and it's yeah, really, it does. It's incredible the energy it gives you. But going back on what you were saying, George, about um, why they're working out, an awful lot of women, people, myself, use the gym as therapy. There's a lot, we all have something going on in our life, good or bad. In our past, I have 10 years of military experience, and some of it wasn't good. A lot of alcohol abuse. That going to the gym is therapy. It's also an addiction for me, but I think that a lot of people can go there and have like-minded people around them and not have to worry about their problems. Just really enjoyable place to be.
Yes,
Mhm.
I totally agree with you, Monica. Because I recently had a death in my family, and when I tell you this morning I went to the gym, I was tired, just like mentally exhausted, because the funeral was yesterday. I tell you, I felt so much better
Yeah,
after the gym session. I mean, it wasn't my strongest session because I was just, I was kind of out of it. But so what? The fact that I showed up, I got something done. I just felt
yeah,
so much better afterwards. It is therapy. It's like it's an escape from, like it's an escape. It's like a escape from reality. Like let me escape for like my reality for like a couple hours.
yeah,
Get my
exactly.
mind right, get my body good, and you'll just feel so much better afterwards. It really does like it sets the mood for the rest of your day because you will feel good. Once that adrenaline kicks in, you're gonna feel good for the rest of the day.
No, it's the least
Yeah.
least least used antidepressant is working out.
Yes. Oops. Oh, hi.
Oh, there you are.
Right. But everybody, I think the gym is like for most, a lot of competitors, it's a place that really rejuvenates them. And yeah, it's kind of like, I'm looking at women who are like, good example is, was about, I think, a couple weeks ago, Linda Murray turned 63 years old. And you look at Linda, you wouldn't think she was 63. You would think maybe her late 40s, and everybody takes something out of the experience, like the camaraderie, especially when y'all go to gym. People there who support you, and also it does help. Maybe it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't stop Father Time, but it halts it a little bit. Where like one thing is like trying to live healthy is tough. There's a lot of things you have to sacrifice. You go to events, family events, like and everybody's eating this, eating that, but you're prepping and you're training. You can't eat that, and the healthy lifestyle, it's reward of it. But sometimes you do like if you can, like take a look, kind of a piece of that turkey or some of that ham, but you have to have that discipline.
Yeah, yeah, you really do. I know a lot of my family members. Before I go and visit my mom in Colorado, she's like, "Okay, How many eggs do you need?" And I'll get some chicken breast and friends that have us over for cookouts. But okay, they'll make certain things for me. Everyone on my side has been very good, but then you have two of my best friends are very good cookie makers also. So
Yeah.
and then that's
And
the
which,
bad part.
yeah, and you got two boys at home, and and
Uh-huh.
mom, you have to
Oh
cook
wow.
Yeah.
for them, and then you got to cook for you, and
Hmm.
this,
Yeah.
hey, I know it's tough, especially your little one. I think you told me, yeah, he might eat what you eat, but he's still a kid.
Yeah. But he has no choice. So
Yeah, there
yeah.
you go.
Yeah,
Yep. But I let him
yeah,
indulge like on
yeah.
Fridays. We have Wingstop Fridays, so he likes Wingstop. So I'll give him maybe on Friday and Saturday I'll let him indulge. Has some I call it fun food like pizza or he likes wings or whatever. But I also love cookies. Cookies, that's my weakness. I, they had a repast after the funeral yesterday, and I had some macadamia nut cookies. I had a chocolate chip cookie.
You
And
know,
I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel too bad because I'm in my off season. I got to get my weight up a little bit anyway, so I didn't feel too bad about it. But yeah, with like when prep comes around, listen, I am on point, like on point. It's like the discipline really just takes over. It's like you already know what you can and can't do. You know, I
yeah,
listened to my coach, and my coach got me in tip top shape for the stage.
Mm,
So, but yeah, but like in the off
mm,
season, I do allow myself to indulge. I don't
mm.
like, you need to have some fun. You can't just like I personally feel you can't just be so regimented like all the time, every 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. Sometimes you have to have some, I want to have a little bit of fun for you. You don't go crazy with it, but it's nice to like maybe like 1 or 2 meals out the week. Let me just see something that I like, something that I want to eat. Just don't go too crazy with it. So I think it just gives balance.
Mhm,
But during prep, no, prep is just like we got to be on point during prep. So
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
mhm,
And
mhm.
after every
Yeah,
show, the
yeah. I
splurge
think, like
gets
I said, the
shorter and
last.
shorter.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, it's that calling. Sometimes, especially after competitions, because Monica, she did the USA Masters just a couple months ago, and pretty impressive. Didn't get the places that she wanted, and that's one thing to talk about. The Masters is growing the last few years. It's even, I think they do Masters also in OCB. Because I saw they were supposed to be having a Master show coming up. I think in May. Nicole, or is it me, or is it
Yeah, it's May. I don't know. I think there was one in May, but the one I'm doing is also a master show. It's on October 11th, and yeah, they're gonna have like a masters division. So that's the show I'm gonna compete in for my pro debut. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So
now they have like a separate show for masters, right? A separate category.
yeah,
So I think that's really cool.
yeah. No, and it is a growing number of masters competitors in the last few years. As you know,
There it is.
in the next this coming summer, it's going to be the return of the Masters Olympia, and that is Olympic qualification show. I know a lady who competed there. She got her Olympic qualification as a women's bodybuilder. That's Rashana Boswell. I had the pleasure of meeting Boswell, even interviewing her. And you look at shows like, I think the show coming up in also is coming up in by that time it's the Masters World Championships, and then you also have shows that have master categories like Chicago Pro, Tampa Bay Pro. I
Now
think
it's in
even
Pittsburgh,
the
right?
yeah,
The
and
Masters.
also you have like the Rising Phoenix. Actually Arizona Pro is Masters because Rising Phoenix, that's women's bodybuilding. That's all the other divisions. And as y'all watching these growing numbers of mature competitors coming in, what does that really inspire y'all seeing people in y'all age groups, competing on stage, especially on a big stage like at the Olympia or even any kind of big show?
Go ahead, Nicole.
Well, I feel because I started competing when I was 44, and I feel like I'm kind of just way ahead of it because I always knew that older women, middle-aged women could compete and they were capable. It's really just what's between your ears. It really is a mental thing. I think like Monica said, age is just a number. You know, I'm happy. I feel like I'm one of the women who kind of like probably. I mean, I'm not famous or anything like that, but I don't know. I know a lot of women who are like in their 40s or even in their 30s, or like I just turned 50 last year, who are inspired by women like us that compete. So I just feel like, who inspired me? She's 80 years old. What was her name? You know what I'm talking about. She's an
No,
80-year-old bodybuilder. You
Uh,
know exactly what I'm talking about. She's
I think,
I do
yeah, I've
not.
Ellen,
heard
like
it. I've
Ellen.
seen.
Oh,
I
I
think
forget what
that's
her
who it
name
is.
is.
Yeah, because we talked about before on here.
Yeah,
I
like
do.
I think
We
she's
talked
now
about it.
officially.
yeah, something
Yeah,
Ernestine something. I forget what her name is. I can't believe I
yeah,
don't remember
yeah.
her name.
Ernest, yeah, I think,
But
yeah.
she was my inspiration. She was my inspiration. So I feel like women like her, and there's another older woman. She's like in her 70s. I don't think she competes anymore, but she used to compete in shows every. That's just what she did. She was even like on the Steve Harvey show one time. And yeah, I just feel like I've inspired older women to compete, or just older women just to not to be afraid to get on stage. So I'm happy that it's gotten more popular. I just feel like, I was just way ahead of myself. I didn't know how popular it was gonna be or how big it was gonna grow over the years, but I just think I was a part of the growth. That's how I feel personally. 'Cause I remember when I started, I mean, it wasn't that long ago, but it's like nobody, like, you barely saw any women in their 40s and 50s competing. Now you see a bunch of them, right? I see a bunch of women like their 40s and 50s that want to compete now. It's just like now it's becoming like a normal thing. But I'm happy that I was there when the numbers were really small, but no one really wanted to do it. So
Yeah.
that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot more in it, but and being MTC, there'll either be shows with none or one, and then you get to the nationals like I did, and there wasn't even enough in one of my classes to have a pro card, so they did away with that class. So hopefully once I go pro, that'll change. Whereas you've seen, I really wish. I think the younger gals are afraid to drop off the heels and go further. I think the heels are very attractive to in their mind, and they're just scared. A lot are scared to kick them off and take that next step to build more muscle. Either that, or a lot of them don't think they can. But I'm excited to see what the IFBB will bring once I step into that area. Looking forward to it. Hopefully,
So,
Yeah,
so Monica, are you like
yeah.
open
I think
bodybuilding or are you women's physique or what are you competing?
physique
Physique.
and
Okay.
bodybuilding. I
Okay.
did that in nationals. My trainer said, you put on enough muscle, let's get you in bodybuilding also. I like the bodybuilding. I like the poses better. It
Mhm.
can show more muscle structure.
Mhm.
Um, Kind of surprised myself. I would have been one of those saying I was afraid to do routine, and I don't mind at all. I wish we were judged on them, actually. That'd be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. But they're fun. Doing the
yeah,
routine is so much fun. Like your own
Yeah,
individual
yeah,
routine. Yeah. I
yeah.
wanted
yeah.
to. I wanted to. I was talking to my coach about it too. But I wanted to maybe the next couple of years. I want to like just see if I can. Actually, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna do. I want to do women's physique. I just want to level up. You know. Me personally, I hate heels. You know. I have a I have a
Yeah,
bunion on my I have a bunion on my right foot. They hurt us like hell. I hate wearing them. That's probably the main reason I want to do it because I don't want to wear these damn heels anymore.
I have quite a few I have quite a few conversations with ladies who did either bikini or figure, and then
Mhm.
they get tired of the high heels. So like they tell me stories. Like one lady, her name was Renee. She told me a story how one time she had to take a air blow, a hair dryer, and take it and try to get in her, try to get her feet into the shoe just because it was so small. It was like
Oh
so
yeah, the
tight.
plastic.
Yeah, the plastic. And yeah, it's that comfort feeling when you're on the stage and you get to perform, you get to show your body, and you never know who you aspire out there. It might be ladies in your age group that saying, you know what, maybe I can do it, she can do it. She like this one lady who I follow, she's a Russian competitor. This lady is 56 years old and her body's just unbelievable. I mean, when I first saw her, I said, nah, she can't be 56. And then so many, like quite a few ladies I do interviews with are women like yourself who are mature, because I think y'all are more open to talk about yourself and the sport because they compare it to younger competitors who kind of they kind of a little bit like want to keep like hee hee hee. But I understand. But this is where you really want to show something to prove that age is just a number, and it's about the discipline and the consistency that's involved in it. As you know, I saw a lady. They just had Arnold Schwarzenegger, show just over the weekend. There was only one lady competing in women's bodybuilding. I think it was two, but it was one lady. One lady, the other lady was looked like she's more mature, probably in her 50s, and and then you look over at the men, which you're seeing guys, in their 50s and their 40s. I was talking earlier that Kai Green wants to come back. It's her story. The Lee Priest coming back. I think another guy mentioned he's going to do the Masters Olympia. You know, there's a niche for it because back in the day, bodybuilding was mostly seen as a younger competitor's sport.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's true. I
so
don't think I ever saw. Yeah, 'cause I remember my dad went to bodybuilding gym. It was like in the early to mid '80s, Yeah, all the bodybuilders that trained there, they're all like, I would say they were like in their 20s, maybe in their early 30s. I was really young. I was like 10 years old. And I only saw there's only two female bodybuilders there. All the women that went, the other women they went, they did like a lot of aerobics and stuff. They did the machines, they did cardio, but they were like two. That's what inspired me to get into bodybuilding because I saw two women with like who were like muscular, still very feminine, very beautiful, looked very strong. And I was so fascinated 'cause I never thought that was possible. But they were also very young too. I would say they were probably like in their 20s, late 20s, early 30s. But
I didn't see any of that.
yeah, yeah. But never, I never like no, I never would have imagined. Of course, I was too young to think about anything like that. But I never would have imagined like I'd be doing this sport at my age.
I think that once we get older, we don't, not necessarily don't care what other people think, but what we want is more important. Also, back to the topic of how we're more apt to talk about how what we're going through, how we feel about building up, because we've been through a lot more. We know who we are. We're comfortable with who we are. We're not putting on a popularity show of watching what we say of our training. We're laying it out on the line, saying, yeah, we work hard, we work our ass off, we lift. This is not a beauty contest. This is bodybuilding. I think that's says a lot for how far it's come. I never grew up around much of it at a gym like you said you did, Nicole. I never saw any of them until I got here to Arizona and saw my first show. And I'm like, where's everyone been hiding? Where all these people come from? So it's like their own little world. And then now that I'm in that world, you're out there and you all see each other and you all connect. I wish we'd see more older women. I wish we'd just see more women want to step up and do this. I guess when everyone's tired of having 300 in their class, maybe they'll feel like it's worth it. Maybe not. I'm not worried about what they think. I just want to get to where I'm going, though.
Mhm. We have here a guest, my man, he's my dude. Sometimes he puts
Hey,
her on my girls. My, my man KLA the Wanderer, he's also a
hello,
content
how y'all
maker.
doing?
Welcome, brother.
Hey,
Thank you. So
Nicole, how
Hi,
you doing,
kid.
Monica? Hi,
yeah,
everybody.
yeah. So while we got you here, KL, you have any questions for the ladies? Their thoughts, especially of women who are mature and who are much older in bodybuilding?
Not right now. I mean, maybe if it leads to something like the conversation. I just came. I don't know. I don't. But not right now.
All right. So, like I said, as you once I'm gonna talk about this for a minute because this is something especially that happens quite often in the sport of bodybuilding. If y'all have not heard, we had a young lady who passed away, and this was over the weekend at the Arnold Classic. Her name
Yeah, I
was
heard about
Jody
that.
Vance. Yeah, I think Jody was in her early 20s. And the question is it important, especially you know when it comes to training and diet and also education as a bodybuilder. You ladies
Hmm.
think that it's important to have education when you get into sport and understanding the factors as you grow as a bodybuilder.
Of course,
Yes.
of course,
Yeah,
especially
to have
for
a
like,
good.
yeah,
Yeah, if you have a trainer too, that how are
hmm
you feeling? How are you feeling? How are you feeling?
yes,
Checking on you, and we check on each other. Yeah, very important.
yeah, important to get your. I said get your blood work done. After my last show, I
Mm,
already had my doctor's appointment scheduled. Make sure everything is okay. Stay on top of your health. Make sure the supplements you're taking are safe. Even some
yeah,
vitamins could be trashed. Some vitamins you're taking might not be that great because it might be just poorly manufactured. So I say really just stay on top of your health. Like it's just not worth it to. I mean, no one should die in their 20s. That's just
yeah,
way if they don't have to. That's way too young to die.
Mhm.
yeah.
So
That is.
Yeah,
so
we
you
have a
just gotta
man
know.
here. Yeah, yeah, we have a man here. The art of female muscle, aka Jeremy Physique fan. Thank you, brother, for coming. As we are discussing, he's been fun body for a long time, and have you seen noticed the growing of mature competitors coming over the years? Women and men in their later years competing as bodybuilders?
Oh yeah, some of you already mentioned Michelle Brandt. I mean, she's been doing this how long? I mean, she's been doing it, I think, at least 30 years. But then also, it's like you see people. I see people that I know weight train, like Jennifer Garner, for example. I mean, she's not aged. I mean, the last major project I saw with her was the TV show Alias back in the 1990s. The woman hasn't aged. I mean, weight training, from what I've seen, is the fountain of youth. If you do this right, I mean, I've seen women. It's like, what was he, 62 and a grandma, and she looks like she's what, maximum probably 35.
Wow.
So it's like, but she's consistently weight trained since she was like 15. So it's like she's been doing it ever since she was a kid. So, but yeah, I did have a question for the ladies. You probably all have heard this maybe multiple times in the gym. An excuse that a lot of women use not to weight train is, I don't want to get bulky. I don't want to get big. I don't want to get muscular. And I mean, we all know the answer to that. It's like, if you decide to just do a regular weight training program, you're not going to get bulky. I mean, bodybuilding is so unique. What have you found to be the best counter to that? If you've challenged someone to engage in weight training and they've given you that response, what have you found is the best counter argument to that?
I tell them, don't lift as heavy. Don't lift heavy. Just keep lifting the little weights and you'll be fine. But don't lift heavy like us. Won't get that way.
No, I just tell them that it doesn't work like that. First of all, you got to eat big to get big. You don't just get big lifting weights. This is like a whole science behind it. It's like that's just like lifting weights is just a small part of the journey. So how you gonna if you're not eating big, you're not getting big. That really is the bottom line. So you gotta eat big, lift heavy. That's how you're gonna get big. So if you're not eating big, you're not lifting heavy, and you really got nothing to worry about. So
Yeah, because that's the mindset
and
of
you
some
can
people,
and you can and
especially.
you and you can also. I'm sorry, George, to cut you
Go
off.
ahead, go
It's
ahead,
on the
go ahead.
point. You can also control how you look. Like it's so gradual when you build a muscle. Like if you want to just build a certain amount of muscle and just like maintain it at a certain level, that's you can. If you want to go bigger, you can go bigger. It's instead of one size fits all. Once I get to this way, I'm just going to be, I'm like this forever. Like, nah, you can actually just, I guess, design how you want to look. You know what I mean?
That's
If I want to
true.
get bigger, I'm gonna eat more. I'm gonna lift heavier. Like I want to get bigger right now, but I got to eat big to get big, and I got to lift heavier. So that's just how it works. So, but
Mhm.
I don't think people they don't understand. You really gotta like understand that kind of people. They don't understand. They don't want to understand it. They're like, oh, if I lift weights, I'm gonna get big. Like, nah. So it doesn't work like that.
I think you just gotta want to do it.
I think
That's all.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah.
That's people can be closed-minded on it. So that's just my thoughts on it. It depends on the individual. Because I hear a lot of the women. They said, well, some of them, like before, they had that mindset of that particular mindset of I don't want to get too bulky, and then something kind of led them to do it, and they started becoming bulky. That's the irony of it. So
Yeah. Hey, you like what you're seeing. You like it. You like it. And
yeah,
the one thing we're in control of. You know that.
yeah,
yeah.
because I think everybody has the idea that if you lift just 10 pounds, you're gonna look like one who is I think a massive female bodybuilder. You think you look like Helen Cavino or Andrea Shaw, or you're gonna look like Irene Anderson, who you think you'd be that big, but instead again, if you don't eat big, you don't lift heavy, you're not gonna be that big. What it does is like my man Jeremy talked about Jennifer Gardner. She did a movie called Peppermint where she played a hit woman. Jennifer Lopez, she still works out and trains. Jane Fonda, you got to believe she's almost 90 and she still looks good. Looks pretty good for a woman her age.
But don't you think that has a lot to do with, well, we know cortisol levels, stress makes your cortisol levels go high. Stress is a big factor, not only the sun, but to age you. And my opinion is, you go into the gym like I do to get rid of stress, to to have things not on your mind, like the funeral you were talking about, Nicole. And I think that that release of the stress and the cortisol and all that tension just disappears off you, and just you, me personally, I just feel relieved. All my family members know, don't talk to me until after I've worked out, do my cardio workout. Don't talk to me because I'm unreasonable, because it's almost like a meditation. I think that has a lot to do with how people maintain some of the youth.
Sometimes I wonder how people get by without working out. Like, how do you just not? I mean, just do something. Go for a walk. Do something. Try and do something. It really does. I guess I believe in mind, body, soul. Like mentally, this really does. It's not just physical. Mentally, it does help you. Like going to the gym, it is like it is therapy. It's an escape from whatever is bothering you. And people know me too. Like, do not call me when I'm at the gym. Don't text me. I'm not gonna respond.
Yep,
Just leave me
exactly.
alone. I'm in my zone. I work out early enough where you know I should have that. I should be able to have that time to myself. I'm here at like 4 in the morning. Don't bother
Yep.
me. I should have that time to myself. Now that time is early enough where I can have that time to myself. Afterwards, if you want to talk to me, if you need me, fine. But that's my selfish time. That's my time for me,
Yep.
for my mind, for my body, for my soul. Leave me be. So no, I agree
Oh,
with
it's all it's
you.
all selfish. It's all selfish. It's a selfish
Yeah,
sport. But
yeah.
that's why I think a lot of the older women are getting into it, because kids are gone, husband is either retired or he's come from whatever he's doing. My time. Now it's my time. So yeah, we deserve it.
Because it's like that movie. You live for yourself now, because
Yeah.
you don't have those responsibilities. Like I said, the kids are grown. They're
Mhm.
doing their thing. Husband, he's running the house, they're on the couch watching TV, eating
He's
Cheetos,
golfing. Yeah, or
talking.
that.
Sleeping,
Fishing.
And then
sleeping.
it's yeah, sleeping. And then as a woman, like my mom, she worked for a long time. She raised me, six other kids, and two grandkids. And then when she couldn't work anymore, she found things to keep her occupied. Like she used to, sew quilts and stuff like that, and doing stuff like that. Then she got sick. She couldn't do what she wanted to do, and that was
Yep.
especially for me, seeing how she was, and see her to be what she was then. I had to move her around and hoist lift and change her and clean her, and it's just tough to see someone like that. But then we see someone like you, Monica, or someone like you, Nicole, who just found something that's a passion and that motivates you. Not motivates you, it gives you motivation.
Keeps you alive.
Yeah, keeps you going, like keeps you moving forward. You don't feel like you standing still. And there is, like I said again, it doesn't stop Father Time, but it does kind of halt him a bit. Because people get into because you with muscle, it does help burn fat. It helps strengthen bones. People who have osteoporosis, that means that they're humped over and their body, they have arthritis. But
Yeah.
then you lift the weights, and it just helps you. It gives you a bit of longevity.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely keeps your balance. My mother just had hip surgery, not hip replacement. I mean, I told her, I said, I tell her all the time, you need to work on your balance. You need to work on your balance. I work on mine every day. We do at the gym anyway, working, or any part of our body. So yeah, it's very important you stay active.
I agree. It's like I say just do something. Even if you start out, with something simple. Just go for a walk. Walk for 10 minutes. I think whoever created just do the 10,000 steps a day. I don't know where that number came from, but I think it's just like a nice goal to set for yourself. Do 10,000 a day. If you can't do 10, do eight. If you can't do eight, do five. Just start off doing something. And like I have family members that ask me, how do I get into fitness? Some of them are like to be like, all right, a bodybuilder, you really have to be into it because I've seen people go to the gym and quit because they see the equipment, they probably don't know how to use it. You know, they
Well,
probably, they probably just it's 'cause they don't know how to. They really don't know how to use the equipment effectively to get the results that they're gonna
it's
need.
intimidating too
But
for a
it's
lot
very
of people.
intimidating. Yeah. So what I tell people is like, just do something you like. Like my sister, she wants to get back in shape. I remember when we were younger, she used to love to dance. I was like, take a dance class. For now, you
Yeah.
exercise in your body. It's just something to get you started, to get you moving. But eventually, I think you got to do some kind of resistance training. That's super important. But start out with dancing. Start doing something you like, but just do something. Like stay
Yeah,
active. It's so important.
I have a lot of women ask me, I don't have time. I don't get motivated. I'm like, okay, well, 7 years ago, we took all the TVs out of our house. And it's amazing how much time you have. And now it's like, didn't have time to do anything else now. But I tell them, I said, what do you do that is addictive? What do you do that you don't like? I snack too much. Well, instead of snacking, go for a walk, get a treadmill, get a bicycle. These Nordic tracks that you can go bicycle in other countries. Actually, that's how I pick out a lot of my vacations. Is I'm gonna go to Bora Bora. So I went and I bicycled in Bora Bora, and then we went there. So they're really entertaining. But that seems to really get something to click in a lot of women's minds. Is hey,
Hmm.
yeah, instead of going and playing bingo, maybe I'll go for a walk around the mall, with my
Yeah,
girlfriends
yeah.
or something like that.
Mhm.
I know playing bingo, you get some money out of it, but then you be fighting old grandmas for like, hey, I got bingo, hey,
Hey, go
yeah,
to the gym now.
I like bingo.
yeah.
Yeah, me too.
We're
Yeah.
growing up. We used to do about every Christmas. We used to play. Somebody buys Monopoly game. And my older brother, he was at the end. He always owned everybody's property and everything. I just, I did. But I'm gonna put this lady here. I just followed her a while ago, and this is really something that really should inspire anybody who is most mature. Her name is Miss uh, Arletta, and she is 74 years old.
Wow.
And this is telling you, even at any age, if you're motivated enough or you're disciplined enough, you know, she's training right here. This woman's 74 years old. This is somebody's
Nice.
mama and grandma.
Mm.
And this is a man, he's kind of compared himself to her. You know, this is somebody
Wow.
that
Wow.
you should, I mean, telling you, this is where fitness really comes into play and make healthy choices. And I mean, got a lot of respect for the lady. She's,
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's cool.
it's amazing.
That is amazing. I want to be
Yeah,
like
that's
her.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
want to be like
awesome.
her too when I grow up.
Yeah, me too. Like,
Yeah,
in my
it's,
70s, I want to be just like that. I'm
that's
telling
an
you. That's
82-year-old body. I'm sorry, Nicole. I
that's
was uh,
okay.
I was I was about to say there's an 82-year-old bodybuilder.
Okay, what's her name? It's like Ernestine? Is
I
that her?
forgot. I think so. I forget
I,
her
I,
name,
I think it's
but
Ernestine Shepherd. Ernestine
yeah.
Shepherd. I think
where
she's like
there's
the first like.
there's a there's another lady. I think she's an IFBB pro. If I can bring her up, because I used her picture in the for this for the thumbnail. Her name is
Oh, for that.
Rebecca Woody, and Miss Woody,
Okay.
she's like I said, this is her saying she's been IPO Masters since 86, 42 years comps nationals,
Wow.
90 and 91, 221. This lady, I follow her on social media. She seen the pitch and she liked it. Maybe one day I get her on for an interview. And you look
Okay.
at her, this is
Yeah.
somebody's wife, mother. She's a grandma. I mean, here she is with her, with the little grandbaby. Actually, it's her. It calls her great, and to be
Wow.
a pro and to compete and to stay in shape. Muscle is a fountain of youth. Protects the joints. Do not regret growing older. It is a privilege. I
Yeah.
know. It's a privilege. Sometimes I don't know. A woman should have youth. She's content to live behind a past juicy enough that she's looking forward to retelling it in her old age.
I think I'm following her
And
now.
that's yeah. I would say, you got to really admire someone like her who's
Yeah,
competes,
definitely.
trains. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, that's
it's a
impressive.
lot.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe someday some of us might even, like the thing is, the health benefits of lifting weights, and it's good for you. I know I need to get back in the gym. I might just do something around the house. I'm a procrastinator. I'm dragging, but I know I try to go out and walk a little bit now and then. But I got I got bad knee, like I got two bad knees, like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Sometimes I did pretty good for a while, but then I had some setbacks. And then, when I talk to ladies like you, Monica, you, Nicole, or just any ladies who I've interviewed this past weekend, a lady, she's a bikini competitor, and she's in her 50s. Um, Another lady I know who's in her 60s who competes. And really, I shouldn't have no excuse if women like yourselves can do what y'all do.
When you get older, you're gonna feel it because
Mhm.
over he's feeling it now. He's like 80 something years, and he just
Mhm.
came home from a rehab, and
Mhm.
like 3 months in being in a rehab because
Mhm.
like there was one moment where he got stuck in the bathroom, and me and my mother was trying to get him out, and he's heavy, and so after a point we called the paramedics, and his folks, it was like to a point where his feet got swollen, but and when you don't do anything, you do feel it. And the funny thing is, he had like two jobs.
Mhm.
He's retired,
Uh,
and I don't know. He After a while, he just kind of stopped. Like I think when he like later on when he started like when he was retired, he just kind of kept sleeping, and you know and like I would I like at one point, he went to like a rehab, but he didn't really like do it. He didn't really like himself to like exercise. I don't think I did a good job either, motivating. But the thing is, it was like up to him to do it. So
Mhm.
it was really tough. So
Yeah.
that's what
I think that
I'm
has a
kind of
lot.
doing.
I think that has a lot to do with your upbringing, maybe whether you're going to uh, have take it upon yourself or self discipline to take care of yourself, make yourself better, to get through rehab. I go back
Mhm.
again to my mom. She's a very strong woman. She raised
Mhm.
cattle. She had to do C sections with cattle. So she's very strong. So
Mhm.
she's some recovery right now. Going, I'm going to go home in 4 days. I'm going to do this, and she's doing really good because she has that drive, that determination. Maybe
Mhm.
it's the smoke again. I don't know. Pretty bad, but being your own home. But you have to have that self discipline.
Mhm.
I got mine a lot through the military, and I think I just turned my addictive personality of my drinking and smoking, and took it into weightlifting, then bodybuilding. I think that addictive personalities
Mhm.
are addictive personalities. It doesn't matter
Yes.
Right.
what you're doing; you're going to be addicted to it. Um,
Mhm.
so hopefully it's just something healthy. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah. Me, I like to compete. I've always been very competitive. So in
I
sports,
think
I played sports. So I played sports in high school. I played every sport. I played basketball. I played volleyball. I ran track. So I think that's I just like to compete. And I feel like for
Competitive.
me, I'm definitely competitive. And honestly, I think just like competing just gives me something to look forward to. I
Well,
me personally, I need goals. I love my goals, even if it's something small. Like okay, like I want to paint my house by the summer.
but
It's a
don't you,
goal.
Nicole?
Mhm. I'm,
Nicole, don't you think though you competed in sports through high school stuff now, and don't know if you feel the same way that I do. This is a one man sport. Granted, you have your trainer,
hmm
you rely upon a lot, but it's we're all on in teams, in sports, and
hmm
I rode horses for competition, so that competitiveness is in you. But once we're doing this, it's so much easier just to say, hey, I'm going to do it or I'm not. There's one
Yes,
person to blame. There's one person responsible. There's one
yes.
person I'm doing this for. So it's better, isn't it, to you also?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And like this, the dope thing about bodybuilding is like no one can say, "Oh, somebody gave it to you," or you went to
Yeah,
the doctor and they
yeah.
inserted these muscles under your skin. Like no,
Well, I
they
didn't
know
buy it,
damn
that's for
well
sure.
didn't buy you. You earned it.
Yeah,
You went to the
yeah,
gym every day. You showed up every day with your nutrition.
exactly. Yeah.
You didn't give up, and that's how you have the body you have right now. So but that's a good thing about it too. Like no matter what, you're gonna get that respect. So,
I
and
I think
that's nothing I like about it too.
yeah, I think one other thing that I've seen over the years is that it's similar to what you said, Monica. It's that when you have retired athletes who are no longer competing in they're no longer competing in their chosen sport, when they learn about bodybuilding, when someone says, "Have you considered bodybuilding?" or if they decide to do research on it, they realize just how hard this is and just how hard it is to prep for a single show.
Hmm.
Everything that
Yeah.
goes into it, that, from what I've seen, reinvigorates them to want to take up that challenge. When you
Yeah.
realize this realizes of something, um, a coach, a female coach that I know down in Indianapolis, that was something that she would say to her clients whenever they did that, whenever they finished their journey and they went to the show. It said, "Congratulations, you've just done something that 99% of the women on this
Hmm.
planet can't do, not
Yeah.
won't do, can't do, because
Wow.
they don't have the physical or the mental fortitude to be able to
Yeah.
stick with something like this
Hmm.
for
Absolutely.
weeks and months on end." But from what I've seen, when they learn that, when they learn how hard this is, that's a new challenge to take up.
Exactly.
Because it's like they learn about it and they find out about it, said, well, let's see if we can do this. And then for a
Hmm.
lot of them, and this is in their later years. I mean, this is not like when they're younger, but it's like when they've retired from their own sport, just learning about it and doing research on it, realizing just what's involved in this.
Hmm.
That in and of itself poses a challenge to them that many women find irresistible
Yeah.
from what I've
Yes.
seen.
Yeah.
It
Here we
is.
got a
It is
comment from
irresistible.
my man Lawrence Perkins coming through. Shout out to Lawrence Perkins. He says this. He says, "Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, brother." Also, he tells me this. He says, "Walk around the house can help too." Yeah. Do that and everything. But sometimes you don't really go nowhere. You walk around the house a lot. Also, he says, "How everyone doing?" Yeah, I appreciate that. We're doing fine. And he says this. He says, "Wow." Because we got some couple ladies on here. That's why he's saying wow. Because
Yeah.
sometimes we try to do these things and we try to get the ladies on here because this is about y'all sport, and that's why we talk about it. And we really want to give the feedback and what gets you into the sport, what gets you interested in it, what the training, the regiment. I mean, right now I'm about to lose Nicole because she looks like she's getting dark
Right.
on these eyes.
Oh,
You're literally fading into the dark, Nicole.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let
Yeah.
me
That's
turn
that.
let me turn the light on because like I
Yeah.
was there was natural light in here and now the sun is going down.
Okay.
Yeah, because most of us here on the East Coast, so
There
it's
we go.
still
Yeah.
yeah, even though it's still a little bit sun out because it's almost 6 o'clock, still a little sun out, but still it's getting dark. And with like I said again, it's about finding yourself in this sport, finding the motivation, the discipline, and a lot of people will complain that I'm too old. I can't do this. I mean,
Hmm.
and you look at somebody go to gym, you look like, intimidation factor again is a Monica
Hmm.
and Nicole mentioned how you go to gym, you see these young people doing all this, doing all that. But
Hmm.
all it takes is you just taking a chance
Hmm.
and just you know going in the gym and don't you have to do anything as simple as
Hmm.
just a little cardio if you want or just some like maybe do a little 5 ounce dumbbells
Hmm.
and then when you say what these 5 ounces is not enough then you
Yeah.
pick up the 10 and you pick
Hmm.
up the 25 and the 30 and the 50 then you're on the bench press and you're doing like the power lifters because I've seen like power lifters who are I think who are in their 50s and 60s. I
Hmm.
saw a lady, she was lifting like I think about 300 pounds in a deadlift and and she's like 66
Hmm.
Wow.
and me when I was if I was that when I was younger, yeah, I could lift that, but
Hmm.
now it's just I don't know. I might feel like I might blow my arms out, or just I feel like I might be. I remember it's a Saturday Night Live skit where the guy was doing powerlifting. It was a skit talking about steroids and Olympics. The guy was powerlifting, and then his arms broke out, and he's just bleeding all over the place. Here is a comment from a man, Lawrence. Shout out to Lawrence.